The Standout Artist Podcast, showcasing the most unique and innovative musicians of Austin, Texas. Brought to you by entrepreneur and professional drummer Andy Jeffs. Stay tuned and stand out.
Welcome to the Standout Artist Podcast, the show where we interview the most unique and innovative musicians of Austin, Texas, and find out what they're doing differently in today's music world. Today, I have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Christian Bland on the podcast today. Christian Bland is the guitarist with Black Angels. He's also got a couple of other awesome projects, which we're going to dive into today. But bumped into him at Hotel Vegas doing an absolutely incredible set. So he was kind enough to bless us with a presence today. How are you doing, Christian?
I'm doing great. Great. Happy to be here, man.
Yeah.
Spread the word.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's, keep, what is it? What do they say here? Keep live music alive or whatever.
They used to call this the live music capital of the world.
Right. What happened?
I don't know if it's living up to that anymore.
Interesting. Why do you think that?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's music centric here anymore. I don't know. It's still a very creative town for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of creative people are drawn here. I think that has to do with just the university being here.
Right.
So a lot of people come for that. There's just something. I came here from Houston. Grew up in Houston. Went to school off Florida State and then came back here wanting to go to University of Texas kind of out of high school, but I didn't. But I ended up being able to come back and get my master's.
Okay, cool.
And I just wanted to come here. Like this is like the birthplace of psychedelic rock and roll, in my opinion. The 13th Floor Elevators started what they termed psychedelic rock and roll from their first album, The Psychedelic Sounds.
Well, what year was that? Like when did that?
No, it would have been came out and they recorded it in '65. I think they started in '65 and it came out in 1966.
Okay.
So
awesome.
They were early to coin their music psychedelic. There was stuff happening in England, of course, at the same time that was being called psychedelic rock, like Pink Floyd with Syd Barrett. They were starting in 1965, 66. That was stuff was boiling up in 65. In 66, the psychedelic kind of started to really come out. 67 took over.
Would you say like Hendrix? Like would he have been like more like 69 sort of thing? Like,
no,
a little bit later,
his Are You Experienced came out in 1967.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
So people were like recording their stuff. Like the Doors, they recorded their material for their first album in 1966. So 67 was an amazing year for albums. I mean, it's just, that's probably my favorite year ever for rock and roll albums. Sgt. Pepper's, Piper at the Gates of Dawn, Pink Floyd's first record, The Doors' first record, Are You Experienced?
When did Zeppelin's first album come out?
I think in 1969.
1969, okay.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit later then.
Yeah. I think they put two albums out in 69, Zeppelin 1, and then later, like maybe at the beginning of 69, the first Zeppelin, then the end of 69, Zeppelin 2.
You know your history, Christian.
I know my rock and roll history, man. I'm the person to have on this podcast for your history segment.
That's what. You know what? We just set the stage, guys. We're going to take you back to a certain piece in time right now. This is awesome. So would you say that you moved to Austin, Texas for the music, or was it for the university?
I came here for music.
Yeah.
I used to high jump at Florida State with Fosbury Flop, track and field.
Yeah.
And I broke my ankle at Florida State and got to redshirt a year. And I was wanting to get my master's in advertising. So things lined up to where they accepted me at UT. And I was able to do track for a year, which was what I was wanting to do. And then...
Like it's like a long time career. You're thinking I'm going to be like go to the Olympics. And
I would have liked to have gone to the Olympics, but I broke my ankle, and that's when I learned how to play guitar. I learned how to play guitar late. I was probably 19, turning 20.
Wow, first instrument you ever learned?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I tried to pick it up when I was about 12. My dad had an acoustic guitar, but I bought like a Hal Bass Howell Bay learn guitar book at the local music shop. But I couldn't make sense of it because my dad's guitar was right-handed and I'm left-handed, and like in the book trying to read the tabs, it was all backwards and upside down for me, and I didn't have anybody to tell me like to flip the strings on the guitar. So I gave up. I was doing track anyway. So then, 7 years later, picked it back up again because I broke my ankle and I couldn't do anything.
So you broke your ankle when you were 25?
When I was, I broke it when I was 19.
19, okay.
High jumping. Just doing the same thing over and over again. You wear your body down.
Yeah.
So, at the time, I was, upset because I wanted to continue pursuing high jump, but it opened the door to music for me.
That's two completely different things. Like I've known a couple of people actually who were going to go down the route of pursuing like a sport as a career, and then they get an injury, and then they do something completely different and do really well at it. I mean, what was that like for you? Like going through that experience?
I guess I could transpose the discipline from high jump, practicing, putting in all the effort, weightlifting, the dedication to doing it into the guitar. I was different with guitar. I mean, both were enjoyable to me. Both were fun. With the guitar, I just lose track of time and like end up playing forever. I taught myself. I would look up Beatles songs and Velvet Underground songs and see how they played, what chords they were doing, and then that's how I kind of learned how to create my own kind of style.
Wow.
So yeah.
And like, how long did it take you to get to a level where you were like, all right, I can play in bands? Like, you've been learning it pretty late, right?
Let's see. I guess if I started playing in 2000, I moved to Austin in 2002.
Yeah.
And Alex, my buddy, who I grew up with in Houston, my dad was a preacher. He came to our church, and that's how we got to know each other. We went on mission trips together. We've been to Jamaica, Mexico. But we, 2002, found out he was living in Austin, met back up with him, and we started playing together. I guess getting back to what you were saying, why I moved to Austin, it's because I wanted to start a band. That was my ulterior motive.
Right.
My parents, I was trying to act like I was getting a degree, and I did get a degree, but I couldn't stand advertising. Like the whole time I was doing it, like everybody was so into like, hey, what agencies are you looking at? And I was like, man, I hate this so much. I don't want to go to any agency. I want to go home and play my guitar is what I want to go do.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to find people to play with right when I moved to Austin in 2002. I remember putting up flyers around the UT campus. Oasis is still even a favorite band of mine, but like I remember posting like flyers. It was like into Oasis, the Beatles. It's like too hard to find people that way. Like way too general. You'll get people that like other stuff that you're not really into with such a general description. So I ended up like playing with a lot of people. It didn't work out. Found out Alex was in town. We used to we didn't make music. We would like, in the mission trips, we would guide our friend.
What's a mission trip, by the way?
It's like, I'm British, man. It's like a youth group from a church.
I thought that's what it was.
We'll get together and go for the. Right? But go like to another place for a summer and like help. Like in Jamaica, we went to Mandeville, Jamaica, and helped to build a deaf village. And it's kind of boring during the day. So Alex and I would orchestrate like people like doing sounds with their mouths. Yeah. And making like for instance, the Zombies Time for the Season. It's like doom boom doom. Doom, doom, doom. Each person would have a different part. We get the whole group doing it the Time for the Season or, whatever song. So we used to always enjoy doing that. And when we met back up in 2002, he was playing in a band. I was wanting to play in a band. So we were like, dude, let's play together.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was the start of us trying to seek other people to play for the Black Angels. And it took 2 years to find till we found the right people, and it's finding Stephanie, who plays drums. I posted a note in the student union. In the old days, it was like posting notes in student unions and all across campus. So I said, like, looking for a drummer.
Did you have Craigslist back then?
No. We only had AOL, dude, instant message.
Instant messenger.
So I posted, looking for a drummer. Stephanie's friend saw it and gave me her AOL instant message name. And then I hit her up. And she thought I was a virus. Our name was the Black Angels LSD. So she thought it was like... She thought it was a virus. I was like, "Hey, do you want to come play drums with us sometime?" And she's like, "I don't know about this. This is virus." But
are you in Uganda right now, trying to get my pin information?
Yeah. So in 2004, the Black Angels started with Stephanie.
Okay.
So it took us 2 years to find the right people. We played with a lot of people and a bunch of weirdos and
for sure. Yeah, it's interesting when you're trying to find the right people to play with, right? Everyone has their own journey. I've heard many people that came to Austin, they found the right people like the day they moved here, and then they shot up and then and then
the lottery.
And there's people that it takes like kind of a while. What were the challenges like for you when you were really trying to find the right people?
We would post ads saying who our influences were. We tried to get a little bit more specific than just if you say the Beatles, dude, everybody will come. But they might also like Creed or something, like some crap band. So I guess it was just like trial and error. We tried to play with as many people as we could. A lot of people would like to noodle and like not like lend their part to the band, but just be like the shining star. Instead of stepping back, band is like it's a dynamic thing, and you're not always the star. Sometimes you don't have to play, and knowing when to play and the right time and stuff is the key. And so we went through probably over 50 people before finding Stephanie.
Wow, that's a lot of people. Shit.
And finding the drummer is the hardest.
Yeah, you say so?
I think so.
Yeah.
Do you play drums, don't you?
Yeah, that's
so you're a hot commodity.
No, not at all, man. I mean, I've been here for 2 years now, and I've really been going out and meeting people and stuff like that. It's just as I say, I'm a bit more of a slow goer. It seems like because I'm not here to like play with every band. I'm really just looking for like one, really good one. So, I'm just being more selective. You could maybe criticize me a little bit and say I'm being a little bit too selective and I need to just like, lower my standards a little bit or whatever. But
dude, I wouldn't say that, dude. Keep them high.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just
find the right place, dude.
Totally, man. I mean, I just kind of, I listen to my intuition a lot when I'm going around and meeting musicians. I'm just like, because if I have a bad attitude when I'm playing the music and I'm not enjoying it, that's going to just feed off, and then word's going to get around like, this guy's kind of an arsehole and all of that. And it's like, I am kind of being an arsehole. I'm fucking miserable.
I know you got to follow your heart, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
definitely. There's been a lot of really good, there's so many great musicians. I've met a lot of great bands, but they have drummers, so but it's fine, man. All I got to do is play drums every day and go to shows every week, and the rest will take care of itself.
It's true, man. You go to shows that of bands you enjoy, dude, and you'll end up meeting people.
Totally, man. And Vegas, Hotel Vegas has been a big place to me. It's just right down the road.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key. Dude, that's the best place in town for like the up and coming bands, and like that are touring through. That's the place, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason McNeely, who books there, he's a good friend of mine. And, he's got great taste in music, I mean, he books the Revelators, and he knows what's going on.
Dude, that's what's up. Hit him up. So tell us a little bit more about the progression of the Black Angels. So funny story, I had another man, myth, a legend, John Rosales from the Holy Death Trio on the podcast last week, and I mentioned that you were coming on. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's like he's part of like one of the biggest rock bands in Austin." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, great." I don't know. I feel like
jumpstart this podcast.
I feel like my own naivety when it comes to being in Austin, not knowing who the fuck anyone is, kind of does me a favor, because when I meet people, it's just like, I don't know if you're a big deal or not. So I was like, all right, cool.
Even the playing field, man.
Even the playing field, man. Because like as soon as you kind of know someone like is doing well, you kind of just it's hard to not treat them a little bit differently.
You see it through a different lens.
So it's great. I'm just a lost child in the world of Austin right now. I'm just making my way through.
It's like a fun place to be.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking about earlier. I don't feel like it's as much the live music capital of the world, but it's the music capital of Texas for sure. That's why I came here. To find people to play with. It's I don't know. It isn't the same as when the Black Angels were starting in 2004.
What's the main things that have changed then? Like since you guys?
Well, I feel like it doesn't seem like there's as much of a rock and roll scene. Hotel Vegas is holding it down. And my buddy Jake, who plays in the Black Angels, is holding it down with this place called the 13th Floor.
Okay, I haven't heard of that.
And they're actually going to be moving locations soon, and it's going to be big time. They're going to it'll.
Do we know where? Can you leak the information?
I'm not going to leak it yet, dude, without his permission.
It's all good.
But I feel like there was when the Black Angels were starting. Like I said, this I feel like it's the birthplace of psychedelic rock and roll with the 13th Floor Elevators. There was kind of a void of that in the early 2000s when the Black Angels were coming out. So we tried to help keep the legacy alive of psychedelic rock. And then after we started, we helped to start the Levitation Festival also, and that started gaining a lot more bands were starting to play in that style in like 2006 to I don't know, maybe 2015. There was like a 10-year period right in there. I used to live above Hotel Vegas also, so there was like a 10-year period where it was just like the rock and roll was thriving. And I feel like in 2015, they kind of started to dip down. There's still really cool bands. Like last night I saw Holy Wave. That's a badass band from Austin. On Monday night I saw Daystar play at Hotel Vegas. That's another great up-and-coming band. I just don't feel like there's as many now as there used to be. Everything ebbs and flows, and moves in cycles.
It's not the worst thing though. I've heard some other things kind of like that. It was like kind of when COVID hit. What happened was it kind of got rid of a lot of the lower bands that weren't really great, and it kind of upped the standard a little bit there, which is cool, right?
I agree with that, man. It's like you really had to push through if you were gonna keep on going,
right? Totally. So what have been some like big wins like with you and the Black Angels, or just like as a musician, like you've been doing this for a long time now? What have been the peak moments in your
moments? Well, I think the very first peak moment for the Black Angels. So here's a little history on the Black Angels. Alex Moss. So in 2002, we went to a place that is Emo's on Red River. It's not the Emo's where it is now, but
not Ego's the karaoke bar.
Emo's.
Emo's, all right.
And the Emo's is still here, but the original location was on the corner of Red River and 6th. And we went to go see Black Rebel Motorcycle Club and a band called the Warlocks.
I think I've heard of both of those,
And we went, and that show was pivotal in the Black Angels. The Black Angels didn't exist before that. I think Alex and I were recording as Orwell, like George Orwell, but OR/well. But well. That's
so dry. It's great.
And so we saw the Warlocks play, and there were 9 people on stage. It was like a low red moonlit night. 9 people, 2 drummers, like 4 guitars. And we were just blown away by that. And then the Black Rebel Motorcycle Club came on, and we were further blown away. But that was that was when Alex and I turned to each other, and I was like, dude, I don't want to do advertising anymore, man. I want to start a band. And he was like, yeah, I don't really want to do my business degree and, use that. I mean, we both use what we studied. That's part of the success of the band, but it's not our main job.
You use that for, like, has it come in handy?
I do. Advertising was my major. I design everything. I'm an art direct, and like I do.
You do all the art for Black Angels?
I do.
Yeah, I was checking that out. I was like, yeah, they got a good vibe. They got their own thing.
That's
great, man.
So,
really talented. Yeah.
I utilize.
Yeah, totally.
I let my parents know that they help.
Yeah, it's going towards something, guys.
Yeah. So one of the first major accomplishments in the Black Angels history is when in 2008 a Black Rebel Motorcycle Club asked us to open for them on tour.
Wow, yeah.
So that was a first highlight that I remember being like, I can retire now and I'm happy,
Totally. Yeah.
But there have been other highlights. I think selling out the Fillmore in San Francisco is a highlight because of the artwork from the Fillmore. The psychedelic posters are such an influence on me, and the bands that played at the Fillmore, the Doors and Pink Floyd, and it's like that's a major venue for me. And so to sell that out and be on that stage and just thinking about the history of it, that was a major accomplishment for the Black Angels.
Yeah. That's great, man.
Yeah, there's lots along the way, man.
What about the other side of the coin? What about the challenges, the dark times? What's been like some big things that you've had to, like big struggles as a musician over the years?
Well, I think early on, trying to get the Black Angels started, I graduated from UT with my master's in advertising, and I was trying to get a job in advertising, but it wasn't like lining up. Nobody in Austin was really wanting to hire me, so I had to get a job somehow. So I went to work at this Gumby's Pizza place for a while, and early on, the band all decided to move into a house together over off of the airport. It was 1300 McKinley is where it was. And we decided all to move in together. And then that was the first hurdle of being like, we're all 100% dedicated. There was a practice room in there. But it was really hard at first MySpace was our key thing early on. That's how we met other bands. And like we set up our first tour through MySpace. And
through the actual site, MySpace.
Through the site, because like you could find other bands in other cities that were like that had the same influences as you. Mm-hmm. And so early on, it was tough because we would go on tour, and we would each have to put in like $200 just to go out on tour, like it's for gas, potentially a place to stay. We can't stay on somebody's floor. Mm-hmm. But the struggle of delivering pizzas and making pizzas early on and trying to be in the band was first hurdle. Financial was very tough at the beginning. Because I didn't really have much incoming money, and none of us did. And so having to pay rent and everything, it was good. I mean, I feel lucky that we all wanted to do this band for like a living. So we all decided to move in together. Like I would tell any band that if you're really dedicated, try to move in together and
that's a commitment. Yeah.
Make sure there's a room where you can practice in anytime you want.
Yeah.
Of course we found out like after 50 visits from the police that we couldn't practice after 10. But they were pretty nice every 50 times.
Right.
They're just like,
just to remind you,
it's 10:01
again. This isn't cool.
Yeah. The cops, they're pretty relaxed. I feel like they've always been pretty relaxed here in Austin.
Yeah.
Relaxed cops.
I think people collectively understand that this is a music city, right?
Yeah,
it's like we know, but
exactly. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. Like when they start building like condos, like for instance, across from the Mohawk, they built like a whole apartment or condominium thing, and then those people complain if the music goes too loud, but that was there first, so they have no right to complain. And so if it's going to be a music centric city, people need to know that coming in,
understand that,
and so that's kind of been a you know, ongoing thing.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, it's everywhere. I think it seems like just condos fucking grow off trees these days.
They do, and that's part of what's, I think, making it lose its stature as the music-centered city. Those people don't really know. It's like the music and the creative people made the city cool, and that's why people are coming here. But then when they come here, they don't make it cool anymore.
It's interesting. I was listening to, I think, a podcast, I can't remember who was talking about it. It was like the only way to kind of like stop a city from growing is to introduce crime. Or I think another alternative is just to advertise that, hey, this is a music city. You can live in this really nice condo in this really awesome place. But there's bands going to be playing there every night. You know? And maybe that would just slow it down a little bit. You know, maybe that's a more proactive way. Of going about things. You know? This is how it is. This is how it's been.
Every city goes through growth. You know what I mean? I think it's good that there's growth. You know, more people come to. This is a great city. And its true colors shine through. You know,
you just got to hold on to your values, right? Remember who you are, and not like steer off. You know, from that. Like, you know, it's possible. I think.
I think so.
Totally. So, for like young and upcoming musicians that, you know, I mean, I hear a lot of musicians moving to Austin these days. They want to find bands. They want to make it big.
Good, man. It's good to know that people are still coming here for the music.
Yeah, I'm meeting people that are doing that. You know, you go to the jams and just you see people and are just like, oh, there's people doing this. This is great. Everyone's got the same idea in mind. But for those people, what advice would you give them? Like top 1 to 3 things they should do if they're looking to find the right people and play the right shows?
Well, I think going to the shows, like the bands that you're interested in, going to those shows, you're gonna meet people, like-minded musicians. I mean, that's, you know, it's a good networking time. Go to shows that you enjoy the bands. I think I don't really know the process now of trying to find bandmates. In my day, it was posting something in the student union and somebody finding it. I guess I don't. Like, what do you do now? Like Craigslist?
I've done everything. So I did the Facebook groups, and I've lived in a few cities. I lived in New York for a year. I lived in Vancouver, Canada, for about 3 years and stuff like that. I've moved to cities predominantly for music. I was like, okay, where's a cool city where young people are at and all of that?
Is that what brought you here?
That's what brought me to Austin. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it was like, you know, let's do
cool,
that.
Man. See, that's what brought me here, man. It still has that allure.
It does, yeah. And I haven't regretted it at all. Austin was the first place I found, like, even though it's still been slow going, I was like, even though things haven't blown up instantly, I am very happy here. And I don't care how long it takes because I'm enjoying the process. When I was in New York, I did not enjoy it. I had to fucking get on like 3 subways to go to some fucking jazz jam where every drummer, like there's like 10 drummers lined up on the fucking like drums waiting to just play all of their gospel chops. And it's just like, fuck, I hate this place.
I mean, I think you got a prime spot, man. Living close to Vegas, that's the kind of style of music that you're into,
for sure. Yeah.
So this is you've got a good setup.
Yeah, man, it's great. I mean, I think I've figured out what doesn't work, and for me, what doesn't work is meeting bands on Craigslist and being in Facebook groups and all of that. Just haven't found my people there. It wasn't a very enjoyable process. You end up driving to a lot of things, and it was anything that sucks the joy. Like I always feel like you got to grind, you got to work hard, right?
Yeah.
But if something is really, really hard, I think everything should be easy, really.
Yeah.
If it's not, then you got to
enjoyable.
find the
I mean, you're playing music to have fun.
Totally.
That's the same thing. Like, if I'm no longer having fun playing music, then I'm not going to do it anymore.
No,
so,
just
that's the key,
stop.
right?
That's the key. I mean, everything should be easy, and if it's not, you got to find the one thing that's making it not easy, get rid of that, and then the rest is good. So honestly, the podcast was a big turning point for me, because it was just like, this is a great way for me to, because I one thing I felt like as well when I was going out and meeting musicians was, it was really hard for me to get out of the I need something from these musicians mindset. You know, it's like I'm going out there to meet musicians so I can get asked to be in a band or something like that. And it was just like, I just feel like I don't feel like I have, like, if I'm going to go meet people, I want to like give value sort of thing. And you know, John, who was on the podcast last week, he said something really cool about when he was looking for bands. He would go out there and offer his photography services. So it's like, okay, you've got something to give to bands to help them for free, you know. And I was like, how can I go out there and give something to the musicians? And my drum teacher helped me kind of come up with the podcast idea where it's like, all right, cool, I can go out there, I can use I'm a marketer as well. That's kind of what I do on the side as well.
That's the key, dude. Combine what you music with what else your forte, you know?
That's it, man. So
it's organic, man.
Just
you can't force anything.
You can't force it.
And then it's, I think that anything in life, that's how I kind of see it. It's like, you just can't force anything. I blow in the wind. With a direction, you know what I mean? Not just blow in the wind aimlessly, but you know what you're seeking. But I feel like if you put it out there, it kind of comes to you. And I think you're right. This podcast is great, man. I think you're gonna, you know,
it's just a win-win for everyone. You know?
It is.
You know, like,
I think patience is a key thing, and finding band members. Like I said, it was like took 2 years for Alex and I to find people. It's frustrating, man. It's like we played with some real duds. But
those are the memories that you look back on. I mean, I wouldn't trade any of the Craigslist memories I have for anything, to be honest, man. Had some great times, man.
I'm sure, man. You can make a little animated series, dude, of your encounters with some real weird people.
They'll come to my mind every once in a while. I'll tell them on the podcast. But yeah, man, I mean, this podcast is it's just about like, hey, how can I go out there and lift up the music scene and, you know, just make some really good friends, you know.
Yeah, man, you getting involved in it. And I think
it's good times.
Yeah, good, dude.
So yeah, thanks for the wisdom. It's great to have you on, Christian.
This is awesome, man. I'm glad I could be a part of it, man.
Yeah, dude, you're going to be the first guy on camera today. So
nice, man.
You know, got your cardio on the way over here on the bike. Man. So looking fit. Yeah. What does the future look like for you, man? What are you working on these days, other than the Black Angels?
Yeah. It's been 5 years in the making. Yeah. We have our new album called Wilderness of Mirrors.
Okay.
Coming out September 16th. And we started recording it at the end of 2019.
Yeah.
Thinking it would probably come out in 2020 sometime. But with the pandemic happening, it became a longer process. Our last album came out in 2017.
Okay.
So this is the longest between any Black Angels album, like 5 years since the last one. So this is the longest. Really proud of it though. I think it marinated in just the right way. We didn't overdo anything, overthink anything. We've got 15 songs on it, which is the most we've ever had. So we figured we should give you a little bit more since it took 5 years.
I love a long album.
Yeah. I think it's about an hour. Double record, double vinyl.
Cool.
It's we've started to ramp up. We put out a single in June. We did a single this month. June was called El Jardín. This month was Firefly. August we'll do one called Without a Trace.
Nice.
And September will be the grand finale, one called Empires Falling.
Nice.
And then the album comes out September 16th.
Dope.
And we go out on tour all of October up to the East Coast, like all the way up to into Canada, Montreal, Toronto, and through the Midwest. And then we come back and do Levitation, which is the festival that we helped to start in 2008.
When is that, the Levitation?
So Levitation is, I think it's October 27, 28, 29, 30th, something like that.
Nice, and it's in Austin, is it?
It's in Austin. It's going to be, we've got... So the Jesus and Mary chain is headlining the first night. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard are headlining 2 nights.
Fuck yeah.
And then the Black Angels the final night.
Wow, dope.
Yeah, man.
I'll be there. Fuck yeah.
So
awesome.
that'll be another great place to meet people, dude. It's like all the psychedelic rock and roll tribes come into town.
Yeah.
And it's just a great place to meet people.
That's great, man. Yeah, I've been wanting to go to more festivals, and it's just, I don't know. I see festivals like ACR. I'm like, all right, there's Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, dude, that's
about it. So it's good to have some
ours
good
is more
rock
concentrated,
Yeah,
in that rock and roll.
Yeah, that's great. Good, we're keeping it alive. Love it.
Yeah, man. That's what we're trying to do, man. Austin's the place to try to do it. So.
Oh yeah. Well, where can people find you, Christian?
You can find theblackangels.com.
Yep.
Check that out, dude. And you check out the tour dates are on there. You can listen to the latest singles. Let's see here. Levitation is the festival that we started. You can find that at levitation.fm, I think.
Oh, if you got .com, I'd be like, shit, dude.
Yeah, we used to. I don't. What's the difference? What is FM anyway?
I don't know, man. I have no idea, man. But
we have levitation.com, but it seems like FM took over.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, shit.
What does FM even mean?
I have no idea. It's a status thing. I don't know. Whatever. Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And Christian, is it just at Christian Bland on Instagram and stuff like that?
At Christian Bland on
cool.
Instagram.
Awesome, guys. Check him out. He's got some amazing projects coming out. Black Angels, Christian Bland and the Revelation.
And the Revelators.
Revelators, yeah.
Play off of the Elevators, dude.
The
Revelators.
Elevator. That's what's up. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You
Your
bet,
wisdom,
man.
Looking forward to, continuing to see your journey as you grow as a musician and continue to keep rock music alive.
Right
and
on,
keep on rocking in the
Appreciate
free
it.
world.
Thanks, Andy.
See you later.
Cheers.
stationary.